So, the word on the street is you love doing your Dremel carving, but you want to get into chainsaw carving. Yep. So, how about we go over to my corporate office and talk about some chainsaw carving? What's a good chainsaw for the very beginner? Yep.
Okay, welcome to the office. Welcome to the office. So you want to get into chainsaw carving and you're a Dremel carver. So this is going to be a real simple video because I could go on and on and on and on, and this video would be 2 hours, and we don't want it to be 2 hours. So this is what I'm suggesting, and I don't care what anybody thinks. This is just my opinion. So most of my chainsaws, basically all my chainsaws besides this Echo 2511, are stills. When I first got into chainsaw carving, I researched like Still and Husqvarna and Echoes. They're all good chainsaws. Okay, so I researched what's the best chainsaw to use, and the long story short is my steel dealer. Like, there's no Husky dealer close to me. I have a steel dealer 2 minutes away from my house. So then that's how I decided I'm going to use Still chainsaws, because for me, if this Still chainsaw breaks and it's under warranty, I only have to drive 2 minutes to my steel dealer, right? Because it's so close. But if it was a Husqvarna, I'd have to drive 40 minutes there, then 40 minutes back to get the saw fixed. So that's why I chose Still chainsaws, because the dealer's closer to me. That's from the research that I did. Okay, so let's get on to it. So if you're going to want to get into chainsaw carving, it can be a very, very, very expensive hobby, and a very dangerous hobby, and a very sore hobby. Like, it's hard work, depending how far you want to go. And I don't even really get into big scale carvings. I'm just basically still I haven't really busted out of my 2D style carvings. Like, these are all 2D. You know, once you get into 3D, you carve full shapes of like baseball players or bears or whatever you want to do. But I don't carve bears here. So anyways, long story short, and I'm going to try and talk as slow as I can. It's still fair. It's morning time. I've only had 1 cup of coffee, so I'm going to try and keep this nice and calm. So this is a Still 170, okay? This is, you can get this saw. I'm in Canada, Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. Well, Delta. You can get this saw for $200. It comes on sale a couple times a year. So we call these throwaway saws. Well, I don't know about we, but I call it a throwaway saw because it's so cheap. You know, you can burn through, if you're making money chainsaw carving, you can afford to buy one of these a year, right? So it's a Still MS 170. This is what I suggest for you to get for your very first saw if you want to get into chainsaw carving, okay? This 170 still right here still has the bar that it comes with, all right? Now I'm going to explain this so you can understand. So here is a steel carving bar. It's a dime tip steel carving bar right here, all right? So for the very beginner, I suggest, if you want to get into chainsaw carving, buy yourself a 170, the MS 170. Order yourself a Still carving bar. They're on back order, but it's going to come in if you order it. Don't worry, it will finally come in. Order yourself a carving bar, and then you're going to have to order the sprocket. Let me pull this out of the package here. So this sprocket right here is 1/4 pitch. So right inside here, this goes inside here, and your chain goes on this part, right? So it spins. I wonder if I should take it apart so you guys can see. Hold on, I'm going to take it apart. You guys can see how I'm doing this too. Okay, wash that out with blow it out with your air gun. Okay, so here's your sprocket right here. So this sprocket that comes with this saw is a 3/8. It comes with a 3/8 sprocket, right? This sprocket does not work for these carving bars. So when you order a carving bar, you have to order a new quarter pitch sprocket too. All chainsaw carving bars are quarter pitch chain. Okay? So this is what you want to do. You want to go to your steel dealer, you want to buy a 170, or if they don't have it, order it, an MS 170. A steel carving bar and a quarter pitch sprocket. The saw comes with a 3/8. 3/8 chain does not fit on carving bars. It's too big. Okay? So once you get this quarter pitch sprocket in, then you take your saw with the normal bar on it, and if you don't know much about chainsaws, you don't know how to change these sprockets, you get the steel dealer to install this sprocket and the bar, because then you're going to need quarter pitch chain. Now, there's two different types of chain that fit the 1/4 inch sprocket. I know it gets confusing. It's taken me 5 years to get this point to where I am right now to understand it, okay? There's two different types of chain for the 1/4 inch sprocket, okay? And there's two different types of steel carving bars. There's the 50 gauge or there's the 043 gauge, okay? So it's 050 or 043. They both work on the quarter pitch sprocket, okay? So just remember, when you order your bar, you want to order the 50 gauge, not the 043. You can order the 043 bar and chain, but it's just thinner. All right, so if you want to do thinner, smoother cuts, get the 043. If you want to do bulkier cuts and remove more wood faster, get the 50 gauge. So you just have to remember that when you order your bar, basically. Do you want the bigger, faster cutter or the smoother, skinnier cutter? The bigger chain cutter is the 50 gauge. The smoother one, the skinnier chain, is the 043 gauge, okay? So just remember that these come in two different sizes, but they both work for the quarter pitch. They're both quarter pitch chains and bars. So all you need to do, once again, when you get this saw, order yourself a quarter pitch sprocket, and it will work for the 50 gauge or the 043 gauge. Does that make sense to you? This is all you need. This is all you need of a chainsaw to get started, to decide if you like it or not. You don't need anything more. You'll see me, I'm just one of those guys that just don't care. You'll see me, I'll have my carving bar on this saw. Okay, I'll have my carving bar on this saw. Come on, get on there. Anyways, I'll have this bar on. I'll take this down to the beach and I'll cut up wood with this. I'm just the guy that doesn't care. Now, when you got a carving bar on here, you'll see lots of chainsaw carvers. Their chain's always loose on these bars. So we'll pretend this is a carving bar. This is a regular bar. You can see the tip, it's a lot bigger. So you can see the size difference in the tips. Carving bar, regular bar, okay? You'll see lots of carvers have their chain loose like this on a carving bar. Okay, see that? On a normal bar, you want your chain to be tight. On a carving bar, you want it to be loose. I'm not saying that loose. Use your own discretion, okay? See that? So carving bar, normal bar. Nice and tight for a normal bar. Now, why carvers run their chain loose on their carving bars? I'm going to get the camera and I'm going to show you here. Okay, so this is your normal bar. This is your carving bar. Your normal bar, see that? Has a sprocket in there. So this spins with the chain, okay? So this spins with the chain, so this tip doesn't get hot. Okay, see it spin? The carving bars doesn't have a sprocket in there. So that's why you leave the chain loose on the carving bar, because it doesn't have the sprocket that spins. If you have your chain too tight, you're gonna melt your carving tip. Okay, you can see this is special steel on the edge here, but you're still gonna melt it if you have your chain too tight on your carving bar. Does that make sense to you? So when you got a carving bar, run your chain a bit looser, not like your standard bar that has the sprocket in the end. Sprocket? No sprocket, nothing. All right. Okay, so I think I got that covered. So once again, a steel MS 170 with a steel 50 gauge carving bar with a 1/4 pitch sprocket. Then that's all you need to carve. This is all you need right here to carve to get going. Don't worry about anything else. All right. This is your perfect beginning package right here. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. If you want to get into battery saws, here is a Stihl MSA 140 battery saw. Why I went with this saw? I got 2 of these. Why I went with this saw? Because when you buy this saw, it comes with a battery and it comes with a charger. You don't have to buy them separate. This saw, this chain's way too loose. Don't hold me to this, okay? But why? Okay, here I go. Slow down, Jordy. Why I bought this saw? It comes with your battery. It comes with your charger. It comes with a 1/4 pitch sprocket already inside here. So you don't need to change your sprocket. You just buy yourself the carving bar and you're good to go. All right? But for this saw, because it has less power than the gas saws, I use the 043 gauge chain on this saw. So that's the thinner chain. So this bar is 1/4 pitch, but it's 043 gauge. Once again, it's the thinner chain, okay? So this is a very, very good saw too for, what did it say? MSA 140. But if you're gonna get serious about carving, you might want to buy a spare battery and you might want to buy the quick charger. You can buy a quick charger, charges these batteries in like, I think it's like 20 minutes or something. Don't hold me to it, might be 40 minutes. But if I'm carving with this saw and my other one that I got, by the time I burn out this battery, when I got my other battery on the quick charger, it's charged. So I just swap out the batteries. Okay, so Stihl MSA 140C, you buy the saw, it comes with the battery, the bigger one, the AK30, and it comes with a charger. You know, this is, I'm not going to get into all different saws, but this is the Echo 2511. I love this saw. It's got an 8-inch cannon bar on it, but I'm not going to get into that. This is one of the lighter steels. This is an arborist saw. This is the MS 193. Look, there's a steel bar on here. Don't worry about getting cannon bars and all those different types of bars. Just this steel bar is a very good bar. I don't care what anybody says. It's a 12-inch dime tip bar. Okay, see that chain? It's just still a little bit too loose. I need to tighten it up. But this is an arborist saw. It's fairly light. So an arborist saw is a top handle saw, all right? So this back handle wouldn't be here. You would hold it here and there would be a trigger up here and you would hold it like this, right? But you can order these with the rear handles. I think there's 193 and there's a 192 possibly. 192 saw too. So, but make sure you order it with the rear handle. There is a few carvers that use the real arborist saws. They're little compact things without this rear handle on here. I tried one. I couldn't stand it. I couldn't move my wrists around to get to spots I wanted to. So then I got the rear handle one. These are fairly light saws. You know, there's so much different stuff with carving bars and all this stuff. That's why I suggest if you're just getting into it, just get the Stihl 12-inch bar. you know, you can cut wood with it. You can, for example, I could cut this out with it. If you guys could see that, you can do, I don't care what anybody says, you can do small block out with this. That's all you need. That's it. Slow down, Jordy. Slow down. Okay, so tools. I'm a Kutzall affiliate. Yeah, don't worry about those Kutzall shaping discs, okay? This is a cheap Walmart grinder, angle grinder, with this sanding disc on here. 36 grit. See? You get the backing pad, then you get the 36 grit on here. This little flap sander, this sanding disc. This thing removes wood like crazy. It's all you need. I got those Kutzall and Sabertooth discs. I don't use them. They're too dangerous. They give you lots of kickback. A die grinder, I suggest this Makita. I don't know what the model is, but it's got the black handle. There's a bunch of different models, but the one with the black handle, the cheapest one, is your safe bet. You guys can get the switch like it's a flapper switch, like you have to hold it when you're using it, or you can get the on-off switch. You can't go wrong with this Makita. You can't go wrong with it. But if you can't afford the Makita, go to your Harbor Freight, and if you're in the States, and get yourself like one of those Chicago ones. But you can't go wrong with the Makita. Or, you know, if you use DeWalt, here's a DeWalt battery-powered one, right? So the die grinders hold the 1/4-inch bits, the bigger bits, not the 1/8. Maybe you can get some chucks, but so I suggest the Makita die grinder. It's going to last you forever. If you buy a cheaper one, when I first started, I had a Canadian Tire one. We have Canadian Tire in Canada, and I burnt it out in a year, but I haven't burnt this one out. I'm not going to get into the higher model one I have because it's like $500 or something, $400 or $500. But this Makita is a great one. So for your sanding, all you need to do is get something like this. This is belt sander. You just slice up belt sandpaper with the emery cloth. Get yourself a ready rod, okay, that will fit in your drill, right? Get yourself a ready rod that will fit in your drill. Get a nut and bolt, and you can figure out how to get the sandpaper on these yourself. Or all you need is one of these red Uncle Kevin carves. Ryan Cook's best friend swears by these red wheels, these nylon wheels. They're awesome. They work good for sanding. Or you can get these kind of style on Amazon. I really like this. I think it was Joe Ireland that introduced this to me. You get them sets of 4 on Amazon for, I think they're like $25. You get sets of 4, and they're pretty awesome. This one's 120 grit. They give you 4 different types of grit. I got 80, 120, 240, and 300 or something. So yeah, this is for sanding. Just goes on your drill. You can get the Sando Flex. I'm just trying to make it very basic for you guys. So I think this video gives you the very basics. You know, like for example, this is a Stihl 201 arborist saw. Rear handle, normally, like I said, your trigger would normally be up here. But this is the $900 saw. You don't need it. You don't need this. Okay? This is like a Stihl 291. This saw is probably like $600. You don't need it yet. Yet. You do not need this yet. All you need is this right here. The 170. That will get you started. Okay? Don't think that this saw is going to turn you into a pro carver. Okay? Don't think this saw is going to turn you in. This is the second one I've bought. I've already gone through one and I need to fix it. The only thing that's going to turn you into a pro carver is you. Yeah, you let the saw do the work, but the saw doesn't have an imagination. You're the one with imagination. I suggest starting off, and I'm going to keep saying it, with the 170. That's it. I think that's all you need to know. Now I got to take all this bullshit office down and start carving. Hope you're all good and carry on, have fun. Sorry, one more thing I want to talk about is safety, okay? Chainsaw carving is so dangerous, it's very dangerous. That's all I'll say. So think safety. So I got these glasses. These are my glasses to see better, but I use these as my safety glasses, so the lenses are all scratched. So I don't suggest that. Get yourself safety glasses. Chaps, you know, so you don't cut your legs off. Chaps are like those steel orange things. They're like pants. I got chainsaw pants. They're called forestry pants. So all I do when I wake up and I'm coming to my office here, I put on my pants and I'm good to go. I think I'm too lazy to put on my chaps and take off my chaps once I get here. Wear them. Doesn't matter. There's that one time where you're thinking you're just doing a small little carving, it's up here, and you know there's no way that you can cut your legs. Well, that's the time that you cut your leg. And I'm pretty sure if you hit your leg with a chainsaw, it's not going to be a simple band-aid. You're going to be going to the hospital and you're going to be getting stitches. And hopefully it's just stitches if you don't hit a main artery or whatever it is. And the last thing, you can wear gloves if you want to. I don't like wearing gloves because I have more control with the saw with my own hands. I can feel the saw, you know. And last thing, steel toe. They suggest to wear boots, but these are like cheap shoes I buy one pair once a year. They're steel toes. You don't want to cut your toes off. I do know a person that wasn't wearing steel toes and hit his toe and had to have surgery on his toe or something like that. So steel toes. And what's the other thing? Ear protection, earplugs. And I forget. I think, oh, last thing too. For your die grinders, we do not use, I'm speaking for all chainsaw carvers when I say we, and this is the first time that I'll ever do it, because normally I speak for myself. We do not use those chainsaw discs that go on grinders. The Sir Lancelot, or Lancelot, what it's called, that King Arthur sells. Or you can buy it on Amazon. You know, they're little discs like this, and they have the chainsaw cutters on here. We do not use those. Those are the most dangerous tool I think possibly ever invented. And they should be banned. But even if they were banned in the United States, Canada, and the UK, China would still make them and still sell them, and you'd still be able to get them. But they're too dangerous. Don't think that you're smart enough to use it. And there's some people that do, some carvers that do use them and think that they're genius enough that it will never bite them. They're wrong. They're wrong, and I'm going to say it right now, they're fools. I don't care. If you're watching this, if you use that disc, you're a fool. And it's eventually going to bite you, and you're going to go to the hospital. That's enough. Sorry, everybody. One more thing, too. If you wanted to get yourself a battery steel saw, hi, Claire. She got the, I think Larry Dibbs has this, too. It's the MSE 170 corded. You will have to order the quarter pitch sprocket for that too, but they do make them. So this is for the ones that plug into the wall. MSC 170 corded. So you will have to order the quarter pitch sprocket once again, and you can get the steel carving bar for that too. Now about carving. You see here, yesterday I carved this one. See the owl up there, and then we got a wood spirit here. I'm gonna fix that guy's eyes. Because it was wet cedar, so hopefully it's a bit drier. And then I like this guy down here. See, they don't have to have eyes. But this one here, this is going to be a flower potter. Like, plant a flower in there. It's Western red cedar. But this one here, I think for this owl, keeping guard up there, I think I'm going to cut this out, this mustache out here, and make a big open mouth wood spirit and carve some little owls in there. I don't know, I've never carved baby owls. Maybe I'll show you guys at the end. The baby owls. They might look like baby turtles. I don't know.
Jordy, are those supposed to be little owls in there?
Well, yeah, they are little owls. They're little babies.
Well, they look like little demons. Well, that's what I tried to carve as goddamn little demons. Look, it's just a whole demon piece, and I'm not giving it to you anymore. I even made it a planter holder. You shit the bed.
I think this guy here is my favorite. Fun project, soaking wet cedar. Hated it. Hoo hoo.
Demons, demons.